Welcome to SveNFL.
What's up, y'all?
It is Jonathan Rollins
and Skip Musara.
Two Americans living in Sweden, talking about football.
Let's go. Still talking about football. Let's go.
Yeah, man. It's another one. Another SveNFL here. And we're back, man. We're in studio side by side once again, man.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Good to touch you. And ready to do it, man. It's another week of football down. Another exciting week of preseason football.
So we're out here just like touching and stuff.
That's weird.
This thing was hard. My thing was hard.
Speaking of which, can we don't have to go too far into Hard Knocks, but I think the
If I'm a
funniest
prostitute,
Tell them to bring me my money.
yeah, one of the greatest quotes, episode 2 of Hard Knocks with the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is talking to his center, and he says to him, I don't remember exactly what he says, but he's like, I get it. He's like, I like to get in there. I go a lot deeper than most guys.
Yeah.
I was like, what is he saying?
yeah, I peeped that. Man.
That's suspicious.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, I laughed at that. Hard Knocks is making me believe, man. In the Jets, I'm getting a little scared. Jonathan Taylor's out there. We're gonna talk about that too.
Yeah, he's on the list.
But Hard Knocks is. They got Cook, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, man.
We're gonna get into
they
that.
got Rodgers. The receiver looks good. It looks like he's gonna be a star. Wilson.
I mean,
damn it.
It's that's what Hard Knocks is there for.
Exactly. I'm hoping that it's like a Hard Knocks thing, where it's like, okay, because last year we got a little bit of a tease from the Lions, and we're like, see, Hard Knocks means nothing. But then they came on strong at the end of the year,
which had absolutely nothing to do with Hard Knocks.
Good point. Our expectation was the only thing that was affected.
So this is the recipe. We're going on Hard Knocks. We're going to lose our first 6 games, and then we're going to go on an absolute barn-burning tear. That's the way it's going to work. And we're going to miss the playoffs. Just like we all had it planned.
And ruin they ruined the Packers, right, on the way out.
Exactly.
You know what they did?
Yeah.
And that's going to be the highlight of our season.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Unbelievable.
But what you got, man? What's been going on? Or did you want to talk about catch up with each other, man?
Well, for me, what's been going on, to me, feels it's Tuesday, right? Because it kind of feels like Monday to me because I took kind of a longer weekend. Yesterday was my boy Isak. It was his 17th birthday yesterday.
Oh, snap. I didn't know it was his birthday yesterday.
Yeah, 17th birthday.
Happy birthday, Isak.
Totally.
Good. What did he do?
And this fucking kid, listen to this. This is what this kid ordered to eat on his birthday.
Okay.
Right? For breakfast, he wanted to have buttermilk biscuits, bacon, scrambled eggs.
Okay, sounds like an American classic.
And for dinner, he wanted like slow roasted, like in the crock pot, roasted like big cut of beef. You know what I mean?
Like a pot roast.
Like a pot roast, chuck roast kind of thing in the crock pot, marinated in wine and garlic and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Served over a plate of cheese grits.
Oh!
Bruh.
This boy straight from the country.
I was like, I must have done something.
Did he say it with a southern accent?
No, of course not.
He said, Paul. Did he go?
Paul, you think you can make me them beef and grits for my birthday?
Let that thing sit on that crock pot overnight.
I'll be happy as a pig and shit.
You had a real nice smoke ring on it.
Damn.
That's a nice smoke ring on that there pot roast. My sister does a good. She watched the barbecue showdown.
Oh, yeah.
And you told me about it. I told my family about it. And now she talks about a smoke ring all the time.
Yeah.
Look at that smoke ring right there.
Look at the smoke ring on that.
It's pink smoke ring.
It's like barbecue porn. I love it.
Great.
Yeah, so we spent the whole day just kind of hanging out with him. The new Madden is out. So I got him. That was one of the things I got him for his birthday. So he downloaded Madden, and we did this thing.
Should I give him some lessons?
He's pretty good, but you could give him some lessons, I'm sure.
I guarantee he's not.
But we
pretty
did
good.
this thing that was really funny because my wife and my daughter Saga would never normally do this, but they were like, since it's Isak's day, they were like, oh, we want to play your new game, and so And so we fired up a match, and we each played one quarter.
Oh, wow.
And then we played against each other.
Did he finish?
Up. Say what?
Did he finish? Did he play the fourth quarter?
Yeah, he played the fourth quarter.
Did y'all win?
When we all played together, yeah, we did. And then we played against each other. I think it was me and Saga versus Isak and Joanna, but they won that one. But
wow.
So it was fun. And then we went out and
cool.
played laser tag, and we shot each other.
Man, y'all do the coolest family stuff, man.
It was great. We had a great time. Good times.
There's a comedian, Steve Harvey, that talks about white weekends.
Right.
Like white people have good ass weekends. And it feels like a white family thing, man. That was great, man. It's great to hear about it.
Yeah.
I'm glad y'all had a good white weekend family.
We did. We had a, we were doing the white Gino weekend over there.
Yeah, I was laughing so hard at the white Gino.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield is white Gino.
He's so funny, though, Isak. Like, when he was young, but sometimes I worry about him because I think, like, he's lost all of his wanderlust that he had when he was a kid. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because when he was a kid, he was so, like, he would say weird things and he would get excited about stuff. But now he's not like depressed. He's fine, but he just doesn't get overexcited about stuff.
Yeah, that seems like what I pick up from him too.
You know what I mean? He's just
even keeled.
He's very even keeled.
Yeah.
Which confuses me because I'm not like that at all. You know what I mean?
Is Joanna like that?
God, no. I don't know where he learned to be even keel. Other
Maybe
than
y'all
like
are overdrive.
The only thing I can really figure out to make sense of it is that he's lived an entire life with us, and at some point along the way, he was like, you know what? Maybe I don't have to act like them all the time. I don't know, because Saga's not even keel either. She's a hot mess.
Yeah.
But
well, it's good, man. Balance. Household balance.
Somebody has to hold it down. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Somebody got to pay the bills.
Yeah. But yeah, that was basically my weekend, was prepping for the kid.
Nice.
He is excited about being 1 year away from being able to legally drink.
He's excited about that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And this is crazy, and I actually believe him because he's the worst liar I've ever met in my life. He is and had decided a long time ago that I told him, I said, I want to, when you turn 18, I want to buy you your first drink. He's waiting. I honestly do not think he's drank anything. Like,
you're not missing anything, bro.
No,
it's
not that much.
You're not missing much. So yeah, wait for that first one. That's good.
So now I owe him a drink in a year.
I told my son the same thing about his virginity.
Right.
Let me.
I want to be there. I want to watch this go down.
I want to give you tips, man.
Yeah.
No. Kiss her neck.
I want to show you how to lift the lid and rock that little man in the boat.
The people that are not watching, that can watch, should watch this back. The part when Skip does the hand motion.
Right?
Yeah, man.
Shit works. That's why I'm still married.
Yeah, man. That's great.
Oh, God. Should we get to the news?
Yeah, shout out to my mom. I've been hanging out with her a lot.
It's a weird transition.
I don't know. The only thing I want to say is I've been hanging out with my mom a lot. I can't
wait to meet. Oh, speaking of, are we going to the barbecue festival?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Those of you out there that want to hang out with us, we're going to the. Well, don't be weird. All right. Yeah.
Don't make it weird.
Don't make it weird.
Just come up and say hi.
Say what's up, and then we'll chill. We'll eat some
Right.
We'll toast a drumstick. But yeah, there's a Brisket and Friends. I put my hat over there. I got my Brisket and Friends hat. I love that hat. But they're having a barbecue festival on Saturday, and we decided we're gonna go. Some more of my friends are coming too.
Nice.
That were at my birthday thing, and one of them actually said, "Oh, Skip's gonna be there from the party. I'm coming." So we're gonna hang, of course. Yeah.
I mean, I usually try to bring it when I come to a party.
You brought it. It was brought.
It was brought in.
It was brought in. So we're gonna do that if y'all want to eat some good barbecue. I can highly recommend Brisket and Friends, but they're bringing all of their locations to one spot right in Vesperia, just south of Stockholm. So come out and eat some barbecue. Damn, they got a free ad for me.
Yeah, sure.
They didn't give me shit.
I was thinking that we famously, I don't know famously, but we don't have like a sponsor or whatever. No. We should approach
Keep
them.
turning them all down.
We should tell them like, hey, we'll you sponsor the show, and all we want is like,
a table breaker.
Like a table breaker.
One table breaker per month.
Month? I was thinking per week.
All right, I need to.
Maybe I don't need to go there every week.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. I'm trying to work out more now, man. That's one thing I can add before we get started. Is I started like going to boxing training.
Nice.
And it's been a fun workout because it's just like don't want to go run,
right?
Or like do the you
want to fucking hit somebody.
Yeah, not hit anybody. I'm not boxing a person. Yeah,
right.
I'll hit the bags. I'm not fighting anybody. Fuck that. They're gonna beat my ass. I'm too old to get my ass whooped. So it's been fun. So that's one development.
That's a great workout.
Yeah, I'm ready, but then it makes me think because I do okay in the training. They're like, "Oh, good job," and they're calling me champ and shit.
Right.
So now I feel like it's time for me to go into the combine and really take my run at it.
Yeah, you're gonna get it.
You can call me champ.
Exactly. Speaking of, one last thing before we get started.
Yeah.
The Fantasy Football League, I think we have filled all the spots.
Okay, cool.
So those of you that are in, wait for your updates. But September 3rd is our draft. And those of you that missed it, sorry. But, it's popping. But we're going to have a live draft on September 3rd right here. And we're going to be here in
Do you remember what time it is?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock our time.
6 o'clock our time because we got the Americans who got to get up early.
Right. Cool.
So it's noon for them. Or 11 for Jason.
Right.
So, 6 o'clock is the first one. And then directly after, we're going into the relegation.
I'm excited. I got my big board all worked out. I'm ready to rock.
Yeah, I'm ready to go, man. That's out there. And now, without further ado, let's get into the news. This is when I would have some type of news. SveNFL news. What's going on? What's going on?
Well, the first bit of news, we got a couple of running backs who have been sitting out there hanging on a fucking vine. First one we want to talk about is Patriots signed Ezekiel Elliott.
Man, fuck the AFC East.
A 1-year deal worth up to $6 million. I think it's like around $3.5 to $4 million guaranteed. It's kind of a lot of money considering the state of running backs at the moment. Surprisingly, what I read about this is that, obviously, even though they have Ramondre Stevenson, who's quite a good running back, last year was not very good in the red zone. He's not very good on the short yardage plays, and this is what Zeke is very good at. Also, the other thing, even though a lot of people realize that Zeke is not what he used to be, Zeke has always been a very good blocking running back.
Yeah, especially when he plays center.
And I think they probably thought, maybe he can handle playing center.
It's a good blocking running back.
Yeah. It should never be forgotten, for those of you who didn't see it, what Ezekiel Elliott's last play as a Cowboy actually looked like. It might be one of the funniest things. Yeah. Like for me, it's a toss up between that and the Phillip Rivers like on his back like a turtle, like trying to make a tackle. It was always one of my favorites.
But having that been your final play, man, jeez.
It's so. It's bad. It's funny. The other one was Dalvin Cook, former Vikings running back, also a 1-year deal. This one's $8.6 million. Goes to the New York Jets. As a Dolphin fan, how do you feel about that?
It really sucks, man.
Because you guys were in the mix.
He's from South Florida. He's from fucking Liberty City, man.
Nice.
He went to Central, like the school, like the big school down there. Oh, it hurts. Now he's gonna play for the Jets. I'm sure he was a Dolphins fan growing up. They were talking about it. He was leaving little hints and stuff. So he must have wanted too much. How much
he must have seen episode 1 of Hard Knocks, and he was just like,
I'm in. Gonna join him. I'm going to join.
He got $8.6 million. I think around $6 million of that was guaranteed. Also,
damn, that's good.
Quite a lot. I mean, he's a good runner.
He's worth it. He's one of the top in the league.
Damn. Fascinatingly enough, I believe the Jets and the Bills play each other in Week 1 on Sunday Night Football.
Oh, the two brothers.
In which case, you will have the two Cook brothers going at it. So cue up all of the cooking puns and metaphors, like, which one's going to cook?
Who's going to cook today?
Well, he got cooked. Yeah. It's going to be so stupid.
Yeah, man.
Right. The other one, I know you don't like this guy, Jadeveon Clowney.
Whoa, Skiff?
Well, you don't like him. Am I right?
I think he's kind of a one-hit wonder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've always said, oh, he's living off of that one hit. Just because he made a motherfucker's helmet pop off.
That's a good Jonathan Rollins impersonation.
Well, we've been hanging around each other for quite a while now. But yeah. Jadeveon Clowney signs a 1-year deal with the Ravens. $2.5 million could go up to $6 million. It's a big.
That's
a lot of incentive. How many?
He probably had to get 10 sacks or some shit. 8
Which
sacks.
I don't think he's ever gotten 10 sacks.
No, it's like he's in the best shape of his life. So
nice offseason trope.
First player to ever say that.
The other running back who's just kind of sitting out there now. This one's
perplexing,
a bit of a saga.
Yeah,
as they would say.
Shout out to your daughter.
Shout out to the saga. Jonathan Taylor. This has been a weird one. It started with him requesting a trade from the Colts, at which point Jim Irsay said, that's not going to happen. Hypocrite. We're not trading Jonathan. He said, quote, we're not trading Jonathan. End of discussion. Not now and not in October.
But he didn't say anything about August.
Exactly. And then there were all these weird, because he's coming back from an ankle injury, so he's still rehabbing that, supposedly. And then out of nowhere, the team claims that they might fine him for missing practices because he also had a back injury of sorts.
Oh, wow.
And Jonathan Taylor, this whole thing is playing out on Twitter, obviously, which is very stupid.
Why would it not?
And Jonathan Taylor tweets out I've never had a back injury. I've never reported a back injury. I don't know where the fuck this information is coming from.
Oh, shit.
And then Irsay, who appears to be sort of taking the throne of owner who likes to put his foot in his mouth. He comes out and after being asked about this whole thing, are you going to pay him? You're not going to pay him. He's like, quote, if I die tonight and Jonathan Taylor is out of the league, no one's going to miss us. The league goes on. We know that. National Football League rolls on. It doesn't matter who comes and who goes. It's a privilege to be a part of it.
Damn.
Which, technically is not wrong.
Yeah.
But at almost 48 hours after saying that, out comes this news that Jim Irsay, and I realize that these two things are not necessarily connected, right? But you have Jim Irsay, who's refusing to give Jonathan Taylor a new contract, announces that he's going to spend $20 million to move a whale from captivity to I guess freedom, to the ocean of sorts. He all of a sudden now. Don't get me wrong, I'm here for saving a whale. That's I'm on team Save the Whale.
Save the Whale.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Free Willy, let him go, do his thing.
The Willies.
But
except for Deshaun Watson's.
Right, exactly. He needs to keep
jail that Willie.
Yeah, it says here, Irsay is reportedly committing a whopping $20 million to facilitate the transport of a 4-ton whale from a Miami aquarium to its original home in the Pacific Ocean. The plan is to return the whale, whose name is Lolita. Interesting.
I remember Lolita. That's Kiko's baby.
Do you know Lolita?
Yes.
You grew up with Lolita the whale.
Yeah. That's what I was looking. I was trying to see.
Yeah. To save the whale, it's going to... Essentially, they did the math. To save this whale, it's going to cost Irsay nearly 5 times the amount of Jonathan Taylor's current base salary, which is
it's not hitting the cap though.
No,
it's not going against the cap.
But the whale's not on the team, so it's
yet. Have you seen that whale?
He might be the new offensive line coach. He's taking over for Jeff Saturday.
He's equally qualified. What happened to Jeff Saturday?
He's just, I don't know. He's just not there anymore. I don't know what he does, but he's clearly not a coach. Now, the latest news on the Jonathan Taylor saga as of this morning is that the Colts have now granted Jonathan Taylor the okay to seek a trade.
Here's the crazy thing. They were saying he wasn't worth, basically, without saying it, they're like, he's not worth the money he wants.
Right.
But now they're asking for top running back money or assets.
They're going to ask for a first-round pick.
Yeah, they're asking for top running back assets in return for him, but they weren't willing to pay him, and they just look like straight-up hypocrites.
This is why you don't talk about this stuff.
Yeah. Keep your goddamn mouth shut.
Jim Irsay's a lunatic. He's
always been a wacky
He's got a
dude.
crazy backstory too.
Yeah.
I won't even get into that.
He's always been wacky.
But
I don't hate him though.
No.
I don't have as much disdain for him as other owners.
No, he is who he is. You know what I mean?
Right.
He had a bit of a drug problem once upon a time,
who doesn't, right?
You know, hey, lesser men than him have befallen to the temptations of various powders and plants and
pass my syringe,
liquids and syringes and whatnot. So, yeah. So that's an interesting story to keep an eye on. I'm kind of curious. I realize that you guys, the Dolphins, missed out on the Dalvin Cook sweepstakes.
They said they're exploring.
As far as I'm concerned, I think
better.
I think this would be a better situation.
It's a better situation.
You know what I mean?
I'm bated breath. I like the running back core as it is, but adding him to that room, come on. Come on.
I mean, I think you almost like. I feel like the Dolphins almost have to do this.
Yeah, it keeps up with that division. Everybody's out here grabbing stuff.
Because, I mean, their big splash in the division, Jalen Ramsey, he's not going to be on the field till December.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
defense is going to be all right. I'm not worried about the defense.
Right.
I'm not worried about the team at all. But having him on would be nice. I'll put it like that.
It'd be great.
Yeah, it would be fantastic, yes.
On to the preseason. My favorite story so far.
If he does join, I just have to say,
My thing was hard. His thing was hard.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Yes. That'd be hot.
yes.
That'd be hot.
Yes.
I can see, I feel like they have to do it. They got to do it. Dolphins got to pull the trigger. They have the money.
Yeah.
Do they have any draft picks? Yeah, they got draft picks.
Yeah.
Are they willing to give them up?
Yeah, I think they got some. They gave up some draft picks to get Tyreek Hill last year. Some futures.
That's true. And
So we'll see. I don't know exactly what Miami has in the cap situation.
Yeah. I think they have a lot of. I think they
We
have.
could do a cap thing before this episode's up.
I think they have it.
I'll look it up now.
My favorite preseason story so far is Saints rookie kicker Blake Group or whatever the fuck his name is.
Shout out to Group.
He was mistaken by a fan by security both before and after the game.
Not twice.
Yes. He kicked the game-winning field goal in this game apparently.
And they said,
We do not care.
I just kicked.
And this was his own. This was at the Superdome in New Orleans.
They're like, we've seen this before. The guy puts a full uniform on, pretends he's a kicker. Get out of here, buddy.
Yeah, it says here he was questioned both before and after the game. Some members of security apparently believe that the undrafted rookie listed at 5'7" and 156 pounds. They thought he was a fan, right? So he tweeted out, Step 1, get questioned walking onto the field pregame for not having credentials. Step 2, hit the game-winning field goal. Step 3, get stopped by security thinking I was a fan when trying to walk out of the player exit. Stay humble, thankful, great team win.
Shout out to Blake.
Yeah.
I like the sense of humor.
Great sense of humor.
Yeah, man. He took it in stride.
But very, very fun. And you can imagine, here's a kid. You think about it, amongst all these football players, here you got a kid who's 5'7", 156 pounds. This does not scream football player to me.
No, Rudy too.
You know what I mean?
His name's almost Rudy. It's Groupie.
Groupie. Or group or whatever.
They thought it was a groupie. They're like, your name is, be more creative, sir. You're a groupie.
Yeah.
All right.
We got some injuries starting to pile up, y'all. Some of them are kind of significant. The Bucs wide receiver Russell Gage appears to be out for the year due to a knee injury. Former Falcon, by the way.
That sucks, man.
Sucks for him. Your boy.
The good thing for the Bucs is they have White Gino.
That's true.
Yeah.
2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Trask, also a White Gino. 2 White Genos makes just extra White Gino, basically, right? You can't. White and white don't make
white.
black.
White.
I mean, extra white. We already mentioned Jalen Ramsey out till December. But your boy Teron Armstead, Dolphins left tackle, got carted off last week too. Do you know?
He'll be back.
I heard it
week.
wasn't as serious as they thought it was going to be.
He got landed on, and he said first week. He's aiming for the first week.
Nice.
People talk about the Dolphins losing so many games without Tua, but almost every game that Tua was out, Armstead was out too. And they're like, that might have more to do with it than people are giving it credit for, because he's a really good left tackle.
Interesting. Titans receiver Treylon Burks got carted off the other day. Good news is that it appears that it's only a sprain, so he should be back sooner rather than later.
Sprain where? Knee?
I think so, yeah.
Ankle. Okay.
Lions receiver Jameson Williams, already suspended for the first 6 games of the season because of betting, went down with a fairly significant hamstring injury.
He must have won a bet.
Yeah.
Yeah!
He's already missed most of his rookie year, recovering from a knee injury last year. So you got injured, suspended, and injured again. Not a great start to your NFL career.
No, that's a bad way to start, man.
Some may say that it's because he came from the University of Alabama, like he just doesn't really have what it takes to make it in the NFL. I don't know.
Then you have Jalen Waddle out there.
You know, but that's just what we say in Georgia.
Then you have Jalen Waddle out there looking great, and Devontae Smith. So.
That's true. And then you have the Patriots-Packers game, which was called off in the fourth quarter when Isaiah Bolden was knocked out attempting to make a tackle and was carted off on a stretcher. He had 2 guys get carted off on a stretcher in that game. Yeah. And then the teams came together in the fourth quarter and said, maybe we just call it.
Yeah, that's good,
preseason.
Man. He's okay. We'll say that first.
Yeah, he's out of the hospital.
Yeah.
He's good.
But I was watching it. I was going through all of the highlights to watch all of the games from the weekend. And that one, a lot of people complain about DAZ and DAZN, as I call it, and you call it.
Right.
They're a little different than Game Pass. One thing, they're not showing commercials.
Correct.
I hope they stop that. Come on, man. Let us watch these ridiculous commercials. And another thing is they're not showing penalties all the time. In these 40-minute ones, they're skipping the penalties. And you're like, what happened? How's it 3rd and 18? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then that game, in the highlights, they just show a highlight. They don't show the hit.
Right.
So if I didn't know anything about it, I'd be like, the ref just walks up and says the game's over, and that's the end of the highlight package.
Yeah, it's weird. I had the same experience, and because I watched the short version, and I was like, because I read about this, and I was like, shit, what the hell happened? I kind of want to see it. Not out of morbid curiosity, but because we talk about this shit. You know what I mean? And then I went to the game in 40 and fast forwarded to the end to see if I could find it.
Yeah.
Wasn't there. I had to watch the full. I had to go into the full game and go all the way to the end to see it.
It's a little weird.
It is a little weird, and I don't know if that's DAZN doing that, or are they in charge of cutting up the material?
I'm sure they have to have somebody doing it. You think the NFL has somebody cutting it? No, they probably outsource that too to DAZN.
Well, who was doing it before?
I'm sure Game Pass.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Game Pass had their own app and all of that stuff. They probably had their own editing team and all that. And the zone is taking longer to chop it to 40 minutes too. Because I woke up. Normally I wake up. We'll see. I'm not complaining too much. I think they'll come around, but I think I'm going to be watching it on my own with local coverage. For
Also,
games, so I can see commercials.
Is this a preseason thing that the announcers are the local radio crew?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, that's normal.
I don't think I've normally watched preseason highlights.
Yeah, this is the most preseason I've seen you indulge in.
Yeah, I really miss it more this year.
Football.
Yeah, like I'm eager for it to return.
This year, I'm going to try to get more into college.
Speaking of which, it starts this weekend.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, okay. They called week 1 in college football. It makes no sense. They call it week 0 because there's a couple of games that nobody cares about in week 0, and week 1 is the week that really matters, is actually next week. Okay. However, I believe there is a game, a very watchable game, this Saturday for anyone interested. It's Notre Dame versus Navy, and they're playing in Ireland.
Oh, wow.
Playing in Dublin. Pretty cool.
One last thing. I know I keep sidetracking us, but that's what we do here. I watched that Johnny Manziel thing.
Interesting,
on
right?
Netflix. Yeah. And the way he went at the NAACP. I mean, NCAA.
NCAA, yeah.
I guess he racist. Black rights. The way he went at the NCAA, I like it. When he's just like, I'm signing autographs. So what? Like, y'all making all this money off me? Yeah, fuck the NCAA. But I'm going to watch as much as I can.
I feel, the NCAA is a joke. The Johnny Manziel story was fascinating. I feel like they left a lot of stuff out.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
And I also feel like they could have done 2 hours of Johnny Manziel. Like, you know what I mean?
It was a phenomenon. I remember. He annoyed the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like he was so overhyped and he was going to be trashing NFL.
I love that he admitted he had 0 minutes logged on his iPad. Dude, never watched tape. I mean,
so much talent.
No wonder he failed.
Yeah. Out there just running around.
Have you followed this story about Blindside, the movie?
Those of you that understand Swedish, check out Sova Henda. That's my podcast.
Oh, did you guys talk about it?
Yeah, me and Amat, we dug
What's your
into that
take on it?
Fuck that family, man.
Yeah.
Fuck that family. I believe him 100%. The story goes that the family didn't give him any money. They pretended they adopted him, and they just had him enter into a conservatorship so they can represent him and control what happens with him, and then made so much money. They got a percentage of the $300 million movie, and she is a fucking motivational speaker living off of that story.
Wow.
And they made him seem retarded in the movie.
That's the part.
I hope I didn't offend anybody by the use of that word. I know it triggers people. I'm sorry, but they made him seem retarded in the movie, man.
Yeah,
and that's what he says. That's the beginning of the split with the family. They were when he was talking to them, like, why'd y'all make it seem like, and that he didn't know about football. He was already good,
right?
So that makes it seem like they might have targeted this dude with a motive to get rich, and they did get rich.
It's like some white hero shit.
Yep, white savior. Google white savior movies, y'all.
I think it's fascinating.
It's a genre,
but it's but it's led to a very interesting conversation this week. They're throwing mud right back in his direction, saying that this guy, that Michael Oher tried to shake them down for $15 million before he came out with this negative story. There's a bunch of people saying that Sandra Bullock, who played the lead character in the film version of the story, is saying that she should give her Oscar back.
Quick thing about that.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody who says that shit. They can kiss my ass.
She played the part.
She plays a role.
She played the role. She won the thing. It's like that to me, I agree. That's fucking stupid.
She's adopted 2 children from an African country.
Exactly, yes.
And she's done it the right way, where she's looked into the oppression they might face, and she's taken a responsible approach to it and understands her role as a white woman that doesn't understand the things they might go through and is sensitive to it. Props to her, man. But fuck the Tui family.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it, but fuck.
No, I'm with you 100%. They seem fucking shady and
people
weird.
People always want to cancel something. Sandra Bullock was just doing her job as an actress.
Yeah, she's fine. If you want to cancel somebody, cancel these fucking people.
Cancel the people that made the money off of this guy.
Yeah, exactly. On to the, I guess, criminal portion of the show. Saints tight end Jimmy Graham arrested.
Arrested?
After, okay, well, this started as like the cops were called because there was someone reported that there's a guy just kind of like wandering around the street acting all crazy.
Oh, shit. CTE.
And then the cops show up and they kind of chase him down. You can see all this on TMZ. They have some body cam footage of them chasing him down. He gets arrested. He makes bail.
He got caught by police?
Yeah.
They ran him down?
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't bode well for his career. It's like, come on, bro.
Of Superbad when they fastest kid in the world. Fastest kid alive. I can't believe they ran him down.
So after he gets released, they take him to the hospital, and the Saints come out with this press release alleging that Jimmy Graham was actually having some sort of a medical episode. That he had they're claiming that he has seizures.
Oh, damn.
So I don't know what's going on here.
He probably did steroids in the past, and now his body's catching up to him.
Maybe. I mean, whatever it is, it sounds. It's a weird.
I hope he gets help, man.
Totally. Yeah. But it's an odd story that feels like if one of those stories, when you read it, it feels like I'm not getting all the information that I need to know what actually happened here. You know what I mean? Which brings me to our next story. Your guy, Xavier Howard.
Best stand-up guy. I just want to say before you go into the story,
Right.
Xavier Howard is a stand-up guy,
Right.
and there's nothing that can make me think that this guy would do anything wrong in general. In general, I just love this guy as a player and as a person. So what's the story?
Well, the story is that he's being sued by a woman who claims that X filmed hardcore sex acts with her without her consent and then shared them with at least one other person.
Oh, shit.
No, you're not fucked up, tough.
Wow.
No,
So this came out because this is a girl who she consensually hooked up with X, and they dated for a while, I guess. And then this other girl kind of out of nowhere sends her a text saying like, "Hey, Xavier Howard just sent me a video of you two fucking."
Wait. A woman wrote her and said that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And sent her the video and said, "Is this you? I'm pretty sure this is you."
Damn.
And apparently it was like some girl that X wanted to hook up with and she didn't want to get down. And I don't know, he sent her the video presumably to sort of advertise how good he is at fucking, I don't know. Like, no, girl,
It's
you
a
wanna
really
mess
bad
up on
idea.
this? It's kind of a weird,
I don't know if that works.
it's a weird calling card.
Yeah.
You know what I
He's
mean?
like, you know what? I'll do my thing that I do.
Y-
I'll go send her the video of me. What?
Yeah.
She's going to love this. Wow.
I'm going to send you a video of me fucking some other girl.
He's filed for dismissal
Correct.
of the case.
Right. As he would.
As you do. I don't know, man. Damn. Didn't he had a domestic violence thing last year, right?
He
And that got thrown out.
did. What was that one about?
He's going to lose all his bonuses paying people off.
Yeah.
Damn. We can't lose Ramsey and Howard.
That would be bad.
So keep your cameras off, bro.
That would be bad.
Or if you're allowed to film stuff if you're in it, but you can't disseminate it. That's where you messed up.
Right. Because they got these laws now. Love them or hate them. But what do they
What
call
is
it?
wrong with him?
Revenge porn?
Yes,
laws?
revenge porn. Yeah.
Revenge porn.
And then it seemed like a revenge porn thing. It was like he was trying to advertise.
You know what? I had an experience with this when I was, 17, 18 or whatever. I knew a guy who he filmed a sexual act. Actually, I filmed it for him. I filmed this buddy of mine having sex with his girlfriend
You did.
while she was blindfolded.
What? You did this?
Yes. And when she found out about the tape and she was like, "Oh, I don't want that tape to exist. I want to destroy it." My buddy was like, No, that's my tape. You can't destroy it.
Oh.
And I was like, you know what? I was like, I regret that I helped you do this. And now that she knows, like if she found out about it and said like, "No, I don't care that it exists. I'd
That's
actually
one
like
thing,
to have
yeah.
a copy." You know what I mean? Like that's one thing. But I was like, this is wrong. And we actually got into an actual argument over this, my buddy and I.
Damn. Are
And,
y'all still friends?
No, well, he unfortunately, sadly passed away about
no.
6 months ago or something. He had kind of a drug problem. Coincidentally, that his girlfriend about 2 years later became, well, she didn't become my girlfriend. We just started sleeping together. And I guess she always thought of me as like, "Oh, that was really cool that you destroyed that tape."
Yeah,
for
that's
me."
good. That does
And
win
so-
you. See, that's what Xavier Howard should have done.
Right.
He should have told the girl this tape exists
Yeah.
and that he threw it away.
And so 2 years later, I was in the right place, the right time, and we smashed. As you do.
Congratulations.
So that happened. It's a weird story.
Yeah, it's a good story though.
But it was back in the old
Lesson
days when
learned.
the VHS recorder was like big enough to where you had to put it on your shoulder. You know what I mean?
Were you yelling direction? Was this your directorial debut?
No, I shot it from a distance, so it was kind of a covert act. It's not something I'm super proud of.
Damn.
But I
Were
had
you in the room?
I was in a separate room.
It's shadier and shadier.
There was a hole in the wall. No. So, okay. So it was two rooms that were right across from each other, and their doorways lined up perfectly.
Oh, okay.
Sadly enough, this was actually at my parents' house while they were away. It's a crazy story. So the doorways lined up. So it was like I was in this other room while they were in my bedroom, and I was in this other like kind of hangout room or whatever. So I was filming from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good thing you destroyed the tape, man.
I did the right. In the end, I did the right thing.
man.
You know what I mean? I didn't do a good thing, but in the end, I did the right thing.
You did the right thing, man.
So,
I'm proud of you, man.
Speaking of guys who have struggles with doing the right thing,
You the real MVP.
wow, that's that's a little much. Don't need that many flowers for that. Guys who have a hard time doing the right thing. Chiefs superfan Chiefsaholic, who I spoke about last week, officially has been indicted on 19 charges, including bank robbery and money laundering.
This guy.
Now, I wanted to bring this story up again because I brought it up last week.
Yeah, man.
And this article that I read came out like 2 days after we talked about this. And it was there were so many more details to this thing that it was just, I mean, it was fascinating. First of all, this dude, he's only 28 years old.
Okay.
Right?
Whole life in front of you, bro.
Whole life in front of you. He's charged with 11 counts of money laundering, 4 counts of transporting stolen property across state line, 3 counts of armed bank robbery, and 1 count of bank theft. Yeah. He was allegedly responsible for 6 robberies and 2 attempted robberies during a 9-month stretch between March and December of 2002. Okay? Authorities allege that he stole more than $800,000 in total. He also allegedly purchased and redeemed more than $1 million in chips from various casinos in Missouri, Kansas, and Illinois. So, right, as I said, this is the Chiefsaholic guy, the guy who dressed up like a wolf. Mm-hmm. He was able to finance his travels and attend all of these various away games through this criminal enterprise that he developed for himself.
Shit. I blame scalpers. They're getting the prices up.
I agreed. So this is what we have to turn to. I gotta go out and fucking rob somebody to go to a goddamn football game.
I'm just trying to be a good fan, all right? I gotta support my team. I believe they don't win unless I'm there.
Yeah.
Now I gotta rob a bank. See what you did, scalpers?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Unbelievable. He was initially arrested in December 2022 in Bixby, Oklahoma, but later cut off his ankle monitor, as I mentioned last week, and fled the state while out on bond after winning $100,000 on bets from an Illinois sports book.
This guy. Where is the movie about this guy?
Some of his earnings came from betting on Patrick Mahomes to win NFL MVP and for the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl.
Which is what we forgot to fucking do. I called the whole thing last
This guy's
year.
a genius.
I called the whole thing. Eagles. God damn it.
Oh, God. He remains in federal custody without bond, clearly. Here's a picture of him if you want to see him. This guy.
Yeah, I got it.
Robbed a bunch of fucking banks.
In costume.
Yeah.
They're like, I recognize the flag he was carrying around.
I wonder if he's a Chiefs fan. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What
man.
a crazy story. We end the news portion on a fairly sad note. Former Ravens running back Alex Collins, only 28 years old, dead after
Same
a motorcycle
age as
accident.
Chiefsaholic.
Same age as Chiefsaholic. It sucks when stuff like this happens. You know, it's
motorcycle accident.
And it wasn't even, apparently it wasn't his fault. Like he got hit by some fucking crazy white lady in an SUV. You know?
She was on her way to the manager.
Yeah. Karen was on her way to complain about something and she ran over a black man on her motorcycle.
God.
Terrible.
So sad.
Well, actually, other news. So we talked about the Netflix quarterback show last week.
Yeah.
Right? Netflix quarterback series apparently is having trouble finding 3 more quarterbacks to say yes to season 2. Have you heard about this?
No. Is it because of our guy?
Marcus Mariota?
I think some of them are all afraid. You know, because if you look at that show from like a structural element, Netflix did a really, really smart thing in the choice that they made between the three quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Right? They picked the best quarterback in the league.
Star, yeah.
Right? You got your star. They picked the sort of quarterback who's known for being good, but basically kind of in purgatory year after year in Kirk Cousins. And then they picked, the guy who was probably going to crash and burn, but if we're lucky, it's a redemption story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Possible
either
redemption
way,
story.
either outcome works for us as a TV show.
Yeah.
If he fails, great. If he succeeds, also great.
Yeah.
Either way, we got a story to tell. I think a lot of these guys are afraid that they're the you think I'm the fucking Marcus Mariota of season 2? No, fam.
Oh, really? Okay. I can see why they, yeah.
Not all of them, obviously. But here is a list of the people who have turned it down. T-Law.
Really? And associates?
Correct. Dak.
Okay, I get that.
Tua.
He was just on Hard Knocks.
Yeah. Tua.
I'm surprised that Tua turned it down.
Justin Fields. Actual Black Gino has turned it down.
Gino, really? Gino.
They should ask White Gino. You know White Gino would say yes.
Hell yeah, he would be the Mariota storyline.
He's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. He's over there in the corner raising his hand. And Jalen Hurts has also said no. All of them have turned it down. Also Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is the latest one to turn it down. Who obviously, I don't know why they asked him. This guy's about as charismatic as a fucking wet dish rag. So, who else? Jimmy G. Jimmy G has also apparently turned it down.
Really? Who would you pick? Who's your star? Who's your
if I based on what's happening right now, if I could pick 3 quarterbacks to be on next season's quarterback, I would probably pick Joe Burrow for one.
Good one.
Because he is kind of a fascinating character.
And he's going to be fighting an injury at the beginning. Yeah. Really good.
I think Josh Allen would be interesting.
Really good. Yeah, man, you should make these shows. Okay.
Who else? Who would be
your Verge? Or the guy who's in purgatory. You could probably do. Russell Wilson would be good.
Oh my God.
Oh, he'd love it.
It would be so cringy. It would be great though. It'd be great TV.
Dak was a good one. That was a good one.
Dak would be good. Goff would be terrible. He was boring on Hard Knocks last year.
Goff.
I mean, I think Tua would be quite.
I think Tua was a good call too. Ryan Tannehill.
He's also very boring. Have you ever heard him in an interview?
Yeah, I remember on Hard Knocks when
he's so boring. I remember I saw it. Maybe it was Hard Knocks where he talks about like when they go home, they go to his home and they're like, "Oh, what do you do for fun?" He's like, "Oh, my wife and I would just like to walk around the lake." I'm like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!"
Why don't they follow? They should follow Kirk Cousins again. Like 2 years in a row.
Sure.
I'd watch it. I'd watch it no matter who they watched. What about one of these rookies?
I mean, that would be really cool if I think it would be a very smart idea to follow one of the rookies.
Something that would help someone who has legal issues would be if they follow Deshaun Watson. And you're like, see?
You know,
I didn't do anything.
Yeah. Well, what's fascinating about that is that
Lamar Jackson.
I mean, I personally think Lamar Jackson would be great.
Lamar Jackson. That's the star one.
Because again, think about it. We talked about this last week. I think a lot of people think Lamar Jackson isn't smart because of the way he talks. And this would be a great way for him to either confirm that or...
He's got that South Florida about him, but he seems like a smart guy, though.
But...
That's the one, Lamar Jackson.
Bringing it back around to Isak, he actually came up with a brilliant idea. We were talking about this, and I was like, what the fuck, man? How are they going to find... Either they're having a hard time finding quarterbacks, or they're putting all these press releases out here making us think they're having a hard time finding quarterbacks so that it can still be a surprise when the show comes out at the end of the football season.
Oh, okay.
But if it's true that they can't find quarterbacks to do season 2 of quarterback, Isak was like, why the hell aren't they doing running backs?
Another position.
I was like, that's a great idea.
Great idea. Or cornerback.
Yeah, sure.
Any position. Tackle. Blind side.
Because I think I mean, honestly, I guarantee you will not have a hard time getting these running backs to say yes, especially considering what's going on right now. If you give them the opportunity, I mean, this is the most like disrespected position in the league right now. And Netflix approaches them and says like, hey, we want to give you a platform to show show the work, show what you guys go through, show what you do, show why you're worth what you say you're worth. To me, this is the solution
It's really good.
to season 2.
I got one. A position that would also create a good title for the show. Edge.
Nah, nice. Yeah.
Edge. And you just get edge defenders, man. 3 edge defenders.
Edge.
You could do one on Clowney, who might be in it. You never know. You could do one on like a young budding star in like Jalen Phillips.
Right.
You could do one on the what's the guy? Rams got hurt. No, Buffalo got hurt. Von Miller.
Yep.
Those 3, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe even the best one in the league. What's his name for the Bosa?
Yeah.
On the 49ers. I don't know. That was edge. A defensive player would be cool.
It would be
chases
kinda cool.
the quarterback. We did the quarterback. Let's
The
get
problem with
him
the reason why they're not going to do this is because the guy who created the show for Netflix
it's Peyton Manning.
So,
Yeah.
He's not going to go fucking around with edge players.
Yeah. Oh, well. It's a great show, though.
I saw another article that caught my eye yesterday on The Athletic where they ranked all 30 NFL stadiums
You can tell there's no football right now.
from best to worst.
Okay. Can I guess best?
What? Guess the worst first.
I'm going to go with the team that just got sold. Didn't they have, like, stuff leaking from the ceiling? The Washington Commanders?
It had actual shit
No,
leaking
it was
from a
shit?
pipe. Yeah, it was a shit pipe.
Oh.
Bro.
Yeah, so the Washington Commanders, my guess.
You're correct.
FedEx Field.
FedEx Field.
Boom. Best has to be the LA SoFi.
Close. I think they got second best.
It's like the newest.
The best field in this list was actually USA Bank Stadium, which
Oh.
belongs to the Minnesota Vikings.
Pretty new as well. We saw what happened to their old one, right? You remember what happened to their dome?
Did they
Remember that shit just collapsed?
yeah.
Looked like it was made of like I don't know, bubble gum.
Your Dolphin Stadium ranked pretty low.
It's old, man. But they just renovated it not too long ago.
Though
Yo.
Hard Rock Stadium is number 28 on the list. I will say this though,
It's got a high Google review.
this is the most brilliantly situated stadium in the National Football League with the way that the away team is stuck in the sun
Oh yeah,
for the entire game.
that was part
while
of the
Dolphins
rebuild.
are sitting in the shade. It is so.
That might
brilliant.
be why I got low ranks too.
It might be, but it's absolutely
It's
brilliant.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant.
Especially when you watch that Bills game that came down to the wire and they're all grabbing their legs at the end of the game.
Oh my God, they're dying out there. My Falcons
where y'all at?
Mercedes-Benz Stadium was ranked number
Ooh.
8.
But they got a 4.7 out of 5 in Google review, and we got a 4.6. So
Yeah, exactly. Apparently this Minnesota stadium sounds pretty cool. The way they built it, even though it's still a dome, it's like there are portions of it that are all glass. So it allows a lot of natural light to come in. So it feels like you're outdoors,
okay.
even though you're inside.
Does that light land on just one sideline? No.
No, it lands on the very godly Kirk Cousins, who has clearly been sent here by the Lord,
Yes, the Lord.
to play football for our enjoyment.
Yes. For us, he's our savior.
Yeah, even though he's still got that Super Bowl nook in his home that he's waiting to
His
fill.
favorite hot route is cross. Crossing route for my Lord and Savior.
I just thought this was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it would be really fun to go on a tour of some of these stadiums.
Lambeau.
Lambeau.
Fuck out of here, Lambeau.
Yeah. Seahawks. That was pretty loud.
What about Jets Giants?
Oh God, where's that?
With the prices going up and down.
I know, right? That was some bullshit.
Yeah, that was great. It was this type of thing last year.
Where I don't forget what that was. It's the Meadowlands.
Yeah.
Is it still called that?
I know
It must be called something else.
Yeah, they
right?
probably have it. They give it a.
Oh, there it is. MetLife Stadium,
yeah.
25. It's got a pretty low rank.
Yeah, 4.5 though.
Huh?
It's not even old either.
Caesar Superdome. Get out of here, Saints. You're trash.
That's cool, man. I didn't know they had 73,000 capacity. That's good. Saints.
That's big, y'all.
It's big. All right. Didn't we want to do some hot seats?
Let's do the hot fucking seats. Okay? We're going to do the coaches on the hot seat. Now, for those of you who are new, we have our own categories.
Yes.
Category 1 is my ass needs a sweater. This basically means that you are safe, either because you're very good at coaching football or because, you're new or it's just not your time, right? Mm-hmm. Category 2, I think I'm going to change into shorts. Means it's starting to get a little warmer under the butt cheeks. Mm-hmm. These are the guys where the rope is getting shorter and shorter basically each and every week. You're like a year away from being in trouble. Category 3 is desperately in need of a fire extinguisher. These are the dudes whose seats are so hot that blisters are starting to form on the buttocks region, and all of the ass hair is like it's just gone. It's a memory. You can still smell it. You can still smell the burning ass hairs, but it's just not there anymore.
So that's 3. It's just 3 categories.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do the first.
So category 1 is usually the easiest one. We start there. My ass needs a sweater.
Okay.
Now, a little movement from shorts to my ass needs a sweater.
Okay.
Right? Pete Carroll. Last year, I said Pete Carroll was like maybe in a little bit of trouble, but then he came out and unleashed regular. We don't have to call him Black Gino because he's just Gino.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
Right. Everybody thought they were going to be terrible, but Pete came out and, put in a new piece of gum and just chewed his way through the league.
That's all it needed was switch that gum up, man.
I saw him on NFL Network like 2 weeks ago, I think. And they were asking him about the gum. They were like, what's your thing? Like, how many pieces of gum do you go through during a game? And he said, I don't really know, actually. He's like, I take the pack. I take a couple of packs, and I take all of the gum. I think he chews like Bubblicious or Hubba Bubba or something.
Really?
Proper fucking bubble gum.
That loses its flavor after like a minute.
Yeah, and he sticks like multiple pieces of it in his pocket, and when he gets tired of one, he just spits it out and throws another one in directly.
Okay.
So he just kind of keeps it rolling.
He's probably got jaws of steel.
Yeah, so he's like, I never actually know how many I go through. But yeah, he's back in the safe category. He did a great job. Let's see. Disclaimer, we sort of fucked up last week with the Eagles coaches. Were a coordinator. So Jonathan Gannon,
Right.
who was
The defensive
coordinator, he's now the new Cardinals head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And Shane Steichen was the offensive coordinator. He's now the new Colts head coach. Those guys are safe. Frank Reich, new Panthers coach. Sean Payton, new Broncos coach. D'Amico Ryans is the new Titans coach.
So all the new coaches are good.
Yeah. Andy Reid, obviously he's safe because he's Andy Reid. He just won the Super Bowl. Matt LaFleur, because, year one of a post-Rodgers Green Bay Packers should give him enough rope to be safe, I would say. Yeah. Unless it goes really bad.
I kind of liked what the quarterback looked like. Jordan Love looked like. Oh,
yeah. He's been getting a lot of pop in preseason. Yeah. Mike Tomlin, obviously safe because Mike Tomlin's badass. Mm-hmm. And I will say this, the Steelers are getting a lot of pop in the preseason too. Mm-hmm. Apparently they have a good coach. Apparently they have a good coach. He's not just a player's coach. Who knew? Mm-hmm. Who fucking knew?
Nobody.
Sean McDermott. I think expectations in Buffalo are very high. Mm-hmm. 2 years in a row. Yep. If they fall on their face in the playoffs again this year, I think he'll sort of move up into a hotter category next year.
It's hard to be in a hot seat after. I guess it is possible, as we'll talk about in a bit, I'm sure.
Yeah. Zach Taylor, safe because he is whack no more. but we'll see.
We'll see.
We got a whole season for him to prove us wrong. Kevin O'Connell, year 1 with the Vikings.
You skipped Sirianni.
Did I? Oh, yeah, Sirianni.
Yeah.
Sirianni.
Gotta say him, yeah.
Sirianni, despite the fact that, and I don't even know why it makes me so angry that he keeps a highlighter popped up inside of his visor, but I absolutely hate it. I would fire him just for that alone. But apparently he's good at coaching football, so he's going to keep going with the Eagles. Right, Kevin O'Connell with the Vikings, his first year with them last year.
I like him.
Did unbelievably well. Really good job. I expect the Vikings to regress this year a little bit, but he should be fine. Doug Peterson, also great job with the Jaguars last year. He's good. Dan Campbell, who the whole world kind of fell in love with last year because of Hard Knocks.
He fell into the hot seat last year a bit, too.
I think his seat could get a little warm this year if things don't work out, but he's safe for now. Brian Daboll, obviously, completely, like, the way he was able to kind of press all the right buttons last year and take a team like the Giants, who nobody was really taking seriously, made them quite good. Then you have Matt Eberflus, second year in Chicago. I don't know what to say about him other than I think he's at least a year away from having a warmer seat. I don't. My expectations for Chicago are quite low. Josh McDaniels, same here, year 2, unless the Raiders are a complete dumpster fire.
I think his seat's warmer than you're giving credit for.
Could be. Special note here, Nathaniel Hackett was in this category last year because he was a first-year coach with the Denver Broncos. I got that one wrong, but I don't think anyone saw that coming necessarily.
Not like that.
But that's the only one I got just completely wrong from this particular category last year.
Did anyone you had in this category? Nobody got fired that was in this category. It was just only
Except Hackett.
Hackett. Okay.
Hackett was the only one.
All right.
I think I'm going to change into shorts. Starting to get a little warmer here. Okay. So first off, as far as last year, movement from my ass needs a sweater to maybe we should put on some shorts. I'm going to start with my guy, Arthur Smith.
Okay.
A guy who you probably actually wouldn't want to see in shorts, to be fair. Like, he does not look like, except maybe if he wore like big basketball shorts. You don't want to see Arthur Smith in tight shorts, is what I'm trying to say. I said last year that he's safe for now, but next year it could get warm, and I think that's kind of where we're at right now. It's year 3.
I'm kind of a believer.
I am too. I think he's going to do a great job, but if he doesn't, it's year 3. This is usually when the seat starts to get hot. Yeah. It's the first year that he's actually. The only reason why I don't think he's going to get fired, if they only win 2 games, he'll get fired for sure. But the only reason I don't think he's a definite hot seat candidate for this year is that this is the first year where he's actually had cap space and money and time to kind of build the squad, and he's doing that this year, and we'll see what it looks like. My boy Bijan Robinson looked good with his first touch of the ball. That was pretty hot.
Burst, man.
Yeah. He also had a one-handed catch, which was nice. So, anyway, I digress. Sticking with Ritter, who was a third-round pick, is obviously a huge gamble. I mean, clearly for every Dak Prescott and Russell Wilson story out there, there's literally thousands of other guys who fail miserably. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think next year, if it does not go well this year, next year his seat is going to be very warm.
Yeah, we'll see a lot will be determined by who's his quarterback next year. If Ritter's the favorite to be starter next year, then that means this year turned out nice. If they're looking and they're shopping for a veteran to patch it together, then he's in trouble. Or
even where if Ritter gets hurt and Taylor Heineke comes in and lights it up, it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
exactly. My next guy on this list is Sean McVay. Now,
I'm surprised at this.
Well, I'm going to explain. So, given that the expectations for the Rams are quite low this year. You take a look at the roster, it does not look like it's going to go well for them, basically. Right. Now, it's not that I think Sean McVay is going to get fired. It's that I think the most likely outcome is that McVay will at some point decide, you know what, fuck it, I am going to retire. So he might set his own seat on fire, so to speak.
I get that.
Like, I think he's closer to deciding to retire than he is to getting fired.
Okay, I see that then.
John Harbaugh, on the other hand.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm shocked.
Now, I said last year that next year was the year, and due to the nature of how time and space progress, that happens to be now, right? So Harbaugh, obviously, he gets that kind of Shanahan-like genius treatment from a lot of people, but given the level of expectations in Baltimore this year, Lamar is back, all signed up. They got OBJ in the building. Mark Andrews is clearly the second best tight end in the league. They got some nice new weapons. They got my man, former Bulldog offensive coordinator Todd Monken in the building.
Who's that rookie receiver that
Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers.
Breaking ankles out there.
Yeah, he's a bad man. Things on paper are way too good for this to fail. And
so
if
you're saying if he fails, his seat. Oh, you're saying his seat is already kind of warm.
I'm saying that if this doesn't work,
seat gets hot.
It's going to start to get, it's going to be like, okay, what's going on here? Is this the right guy?
There's a line of thinking out there that getting Lamar Jackson saved Harbaugh's job.
Right.
Gave him a second wind.
Sure.
So that might be exhausted if. All right.
His brother's in a little bit of trouble in the college football world at the moment, too.
I can see it.
Got suspended for a couple of games because he bought somebody a cheeseburger. Stupid story. Kyle Shanahan, obviously.
Here we go.
Okay, now
here we go. This dude's got one of the coldest seats in the NFL.
He's obviously safe.
Yeah.
But
just say I don't like the guy.
Well, I've said that many times. This is not like a mystery. People know how I feel about Kyle Shanahan.
Don't make a seat hot.
Now, look, Kyle Shanahan. I know that Kyle Shanahan is safe. However, if the shit hits the fan, if he ever has to actually atone for this Trey Lance pick, number 3 overall pick, who apparently can't even win the fucking number 2 spot on the depth chart right now because he's so fucking trash at playing football.
Picks.
Gave up mad picks. The 49ers, obviously, they tend to exceed expectations, right? This team is known for being able to play and win games without having a star quarterback.
Because of?
Well, they say it's because of Kyle Shanahan.
Okay.
I would argue that it's because of their defense. Okay. And this year it would be because of their Christian McCaffrey. Or all those fucking yak bros. You know what I mean? Like, they have one of these teams where all you got to do as a quarterback is make a fucking 2-yard pass and let Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk,
or
Christian McCaffrey, sweep in it. Let them do all the work. That's all you need.
I got to say that there's some zone blocking involved there as well.
True. Exactly.
There's some scheming, which is why it sets up these passes. I don't know, man. I'm a believer in Kyle Shanahan now.
I'm clearly have been out on Kyle Shanahan for years, and I'm waiting for the rest of the league to catch up to this.
I think you're way off on this one, man. I'm sorry. It's your hatred.
We'll see.
This one I'm shocked, but it's the next one, too. Go ahead.
Mike Vrabel,
what?
Again, I think is very safe.
He's the same as Mike Tomlin. Never had a losing season.
You're correct. He is the same as Mike Tomlin. That's it. Never had a losing season.
Always just overachieves with his team.
Correct. However, but the window of when like they used to have a good roster is like slamming shut. All right.
I think no matter what roster they have, they're going to be a winning team.
I don't know. I mean, they play in one of the worst divisions in football.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's the big difference in him.
You play in one of the. If you can't win this division every year, what does that say? Although the Jags are kind of ascending, so maybe it gets a little harder.
The Jags win this year.
I'm just saying, I think his seat is going to get a little warmer. And also, you got the whole Derrick Henry factor of like, you know, he's what, 30? What now?
Yeah.
What are you going to, now you got to make him, you got to do something to secure your future as the head coach of this football team.
I think they're going to shock a lot of people this year.
Now, I put these hot seat rankings together back in June.
Okay. So it was before DeAndre Hopkins.
It's before DeAndre Hopkins, and it's also before hearing about how good this defense is.
Yeah.
I actually think that the Titans will compete more than most people think they will.
And Tannehill's best year was when they had A.J. Brown.
Right.
And now I think they're running that back with DeAndre Hopkins. And
unlike Kyle Shanahan, I actually do have a lot of respect for Mike Vrabel. So anyway, okay. The fun category, desperately in need of a fire extinguisher. These are the dudes whose seats are so hot, right? The blisters are forming on the buttocks.
This was a loaded field last year.
Yeah, exactly. Now, this is the shit that I got right from 2022. Frank Reich, fired by the Colts. Cliff Kingsbury, fired by the Cardinals. Lovie Smith, fired by the Texans. Matt Rule, fired by the Panthers. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Track record
done.
I got there. The shit I got wrong, Brandon Staley did not get fired from the Chargers. We'll get to him in a minute. Mike McCarthy also not fired by the Cowboys, who we will also get to in a minute. Mike McDaniel. Now,
how could you think of the first?
Now, I explained this last year.
Okay.
This was obviously a very hot and a very bad take that on paper made no sense, but it was the Stephen Ross chasing Sean Payton situation is why I started to imagine this to be plausible. It had nothing to do with Mike McDaniel. It had to do with Stephen Ross being this weird, unpredictable, wacky dude that if Sean Payton did suddenly become available, it would feel like, okay, you know what? But that being said, I think Mike McDaniel did such a good job last year as the coach of the Miami Dolphins. I don't even think the presence of Sean Payton would have made that possible.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I put him on the list because I just don't trust Stephen Ross.
All right.
But I think he's doing a great job. And he's like one of my most favorite coaches to just listen to, mic'd up, because he's so fucking weird and funny and strange.
He's a leader.
Yeah, so I got that one wrong. I knew I was probably going to get that one wrong. But yeah, I'm glad he didn't fail. Now, despite the fact that I was wrong last year, I'm keeping Brandon Staley and Mike McCarthy on the hottest seat list. Okay? Brandon Staley, because like I said, he has what should be a top 5 QB in the NFL in Justin Herbert. Right? He himself, Staley, is supposed to be this defensive-minded coach, and they had one of the worst run defenses in the NFL last year.
That's a big no-no.
And throw on top of that, blowing a 27-0 lead in the wild card round of the playoffs to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and this man has a seat that is not only hot, like this dude's ass is melting.
That meltdown was crazy.
And not only that, like he went out and hired Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator from the Cowboys. If this fails, I mean,
Who else can you blame?
You fired all the coordinators, hired new guys. You brought in the hotshot OC, who's probably going to take your job if this doesn't go well.
Yeah, Kellen Moore's going to be future interim coach.
Yeah, if this doesn't go well, for sure. So Brandon Staley is...
Yeah, his seat's on fire.
His seat's on fire. Mike McCarthy, too. I think the same thing here. Kind of connected in a weird way, I think. But I think a big part of it is that Jerry Jones is running out of patience. Right?
He always waits too long.
Again, Kellen Moore is gone, which is, I mean, McCarthy basically came out in an interview and said, now I finally get to run the offense the way I want to run it, which is like, first and foremost,
you're in charge.
Aren't you the head coach?
Yeah.
Second of all, now you have no more excuses. So if this does not work, you're gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He said some weird stuff in the offseason for sure. But basically, he has nowhere else to hide. I think between these two, you have kind of the hottest of seats in the NFL.
I agree.
So, okay, yeah, dropping down from, they were previously in the, I got some shorts on, but now I need a fire extinguisher. I'm putting Ron Rivera in the hottest of seats list. To be fair, I don't actually want him to be there.
I get it, though. New owner.
But you have Dan Snyder out the door.
Yeah.
You know, and the new owners need to...
He's going to have to kill it.
You know, sadly, Rivera is the only thing that like made this organization respectable during this whole
But he's had
period.
2 fucking public blips in the last 2 seasons, too.
Yeah, and he's also had a weird little slip up with this where he said something weird about Eric Bieniemy.
That's
and
what
again,
I'm saying. Bieniemy and Wentz last year.
And again, here you go with you've basically hired the guy who everybody's wanted. You've hired as your offensive coordinator the one guy who everyone's like scratching their heads, like, why is this guy not a head coach?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everything is set up for you to get replaced by Eric Bieniemy, basically.
Yeah.
The new owners they spent $6 billion on this football team. And they're desperate, and they didn't hire Ron Rivera, so he's expendable. As much as I like him as a coach. Dennis Allen, I'm putting you on the list. Okay, fine. I'm a Falcons fan, and Dennis Allen coaches the Saints. But to be honest, like, what are we doing here? I'm just trying to call it like I see it.
Yeah.
I don't think Saints fans are all that happy about Dennis Allen being their coach.
No.
And if this Derek Carr trade doesn't pan out, again, first or second worst division in football. It's a toss-up. NFC South or the AFC South.
Yeah.
Which does I don't know which one's worse. But if you don't win this division, you're probably not going to keep your job. I don't think.
Yeah, he's got to. But they might.
Biggest drops from like my ass needs a sweater to the fire extinguisher category is Todd Bowles. It feels pretty safe to assume that the Bucs are going to be terrible this year.
They got White Geno.
They do have White Geno. It's the post-Brady era.
They spent all that capital when they got Brady, too.
Exactly. And now they're like trying to act like they're remodeling instead of rebuilding, which I think is a big mistake. Yeah. They didn't make any of the moves that you would hope for them to make if you were a Bucs fan to indicate that they have any kind of real plan at all. Plus, historically, when it comes to black coaches in the NFL, there's rarely any grace given to the fact that, that the Bucs situation has almost nothing to do with him. You know what I mean? So I don't.
And as soon as he became coach, they stopped spending money.
Mm-hmm.
When Bruce Arians was coach, they went out there and bought everything to try to keep Tom Brady happy.
Yeah.
When they got Gronk, they got Fournette. They went and got some defensive players.
Yeah. Which obviously, all of this explains why Todd Bowles is a man who went out and finally got his college degree at the age of 59. Did you hear about this? This was one of the feel-good off-season stories.
I didn't know that.
He went back and got his college degree. He said it was because it was a promise that he made to his mother years ago that he was always going to go back and get it. He kept a promise to his mother. But you and I know, and Todd Bowles also probably knows, that it's because this man is going to be unemployed by the end of 2023, and he wants to make sure he has a college degree.
He's like, I'm not doing this coaching thing anymore, man.
Yeah. Next on the list, I'm putting Robert Saleh.
Come on, man. Really?
Yeah, I am. Last year, I said he was...
year.
I know. It's his third year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, I said I think he's safe. But with all those picks, right? Mm-hmm. If the Jets are one of those 2, 3, 4 win teams, if it falls apart, if it falls on its face, it's going to get noisy in New York, right? Yeah. They got all the love. They got all the expectations. I mean, of all the teams that have high expectations, the Jets are at the top of the list.
They're between 7 and 10 on everybody's Super Bowl odds.
And if they don't what if they don't make the playoffs?
They're in a tough division.
It's like, we got you everything you needed.
If they just miss the playoffs, I think he's still safe. I think that's too hot for him.
I think he could get fired.
Okay. All right.
I think so.
And the defense, if the defense is trash, which is not going to be, then he's in trouble.
The biggest concern at the moment is, well, at least based on what I've seen on Hard Knocks, is
offensive line.
The offensive line. Yeah. And if you get Rodgers injured and you got to roll with Zach Wilson for the rest of the year, whoo,
poor Zach Wilson.
I mean,
he's sucking it up, man. Damn.
Unbelievable.
Set his ego aside. That's good.
So, okay, next up, this is a weird one. We're going to put Bill Belichick on the hot seat list this year. or I'm putting him on the hot seat list. Now,
he should be.
This seems sacrilegious.
No, he should be.
Oh, okay. So now I hate Kyle Shanahan. You hate Bill Belichick.
No, I'm just saying. After the decisions he made last year that tanked their season,
that was
with
pretty
a top
crazy.
5 defense,
Yeah.
he's probably still gonna have another good defense. If their offense is trashy again, it's gonna be looking like the league's passed him by.
I think the writing is on the wall in New England. But before I go, I want to make it very clear that I think the people who are still debating who was better, Brady or Belichick, I think people like that are very stupid.
Yeah.
Who's responsible for all the rings? Was it Brady? Was it Bill? Brady won one without Bill, so that means Brady's the winner here. I just think that's fucking dumb.
Yeah, agreed.
Bill won a ring without Brady as a defensive coordinator, of course, but get the fuck out of here. They do 2 completely different jobs.
Yes.
I don't even want to have this conversation.
Yeah.
So
in a team sport.
Exactly. So I just think that, obviously, like you said, the coaching situation from last year, Robert Kraft has publicly come out on record saying that, making the playoffs or not making the playoffs is unacceptable for this franchise. Now, I don't know if again,
I think they're going to be good, though.
it could be one of those things where it's Belichick leaving instead of getting fired or something like that. I don't know, but it's kind of a tricky situation. They really, he's only like, what is he, like 25, 30 wins away from having the most wins in coaching history.
Really?
So it's like,
Okay.
I don't think he'll be done coaching, but he's going to stick around until he gets it for sure. But there's some weird shit going on in New England right now, I think.
You can feel the tides kind of changing.
But I agree with you. I do think that they might actually be better than I had previously thought they were going to be.
Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty good.
Yeah. And okay, last guy on the list, we got Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. This is what I would consider one of the hottest seats in the NFL this season. The Browns sold their souls to the devil to get an alleged sexual predator to quarterback their offense. And they paid this man a historically ridiculous salary to do so. Most guaranteed in NFL history. Year 1, the expectations were low, right?
Yep.
Watson didn't play till week 11, and when he did play, he was statistically the worst quarterback in the league, even behind Marcus Mariota, believe it or not. Okay? But now the guaranteed money kicks in, and the rust excuse is no longer relevant, obviously, right? Watson goes from making $1 million last year to this year pulling in $46 million guaranteed.
God damn.
Okay? Myles Garrett is still there. Amari Cooper is still there. My man, former Bulldog Nick Chubb is still there. Go look at the roster. They got all the pieces that they need. If this does not go well, they cannot afford to blame Deshaun Watson. They owe him too much money. Owners Jimmy and Dee Haslam will have no choice but to fire Kevin Stefanski if the Browns are shit this year. They don't have a choice.
I'm looking at their roster. They got some players, man.
They do.
They got a good receiving core.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I like on their roster?
Who?
That 3rd string quarterback.
Oh, the one that's been playing in
Thompson
preseason.
Robinson.
He's been fun as hell to watch.
Yeah. Watch out for that guy, man.
He's been really fun to watch.
They got 4 quarterbacks on their roster, so if he goes free, he might mess around and sneak up on somebody.
Who's their 2nd string quarterback?
It says they got Joshua Dobbs.
The dude.
Light-skinned dude. Look like he got alopecia.
That's the dude who
No eyebrows.
outplayed Malik Willis in Tennessee last year.
Yeah, exactly. without knowing the playbook and shit. Yeah.
Right. He just came in and played some
And that guy
backyard
named
football.
Kellen Mond. He might not. He's probably not gonna make the team. But yeah, they got Cedric Tillman, Elijah Moore, Austin Watkins, Donovan Peoples-Jones, David Bell. I think Bell is the one I was thinking about last episode. I said one syllable name that was balling out. I think it was that guy.
But this is what I mean. Considering the roster and considering what they're paying Deshaun Watson,
Amari Cooper, shit.
if this doesn't go well, you can't. They're not going to drop Watson. Obviously, it was the owner's idea to bring in Deshaun Watson, but you can't fire the owner, so you got to fire somebody. It's going to be the coach.
They got David Njoku. We haven't even named him.
Yeah, he was good last year. He had flashes last year.
Yeah, he went to a really good college. Yeah, so that's I like that one, Stefanski.
Yeah.
Coach of the Year 2 years ago.
Hey, what have you done for me lately, baby?
Life comes at you fast. But they went and picked this dude up, man. So whatever, man.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
He's a habitual line stepper.
That's right, man. Mm-hmm. So
Anybody on who is not on the hot seat that you think should be on the hot seat?
I like this list, man. I like this list. I think I like it. I don't know. I think your hot seat list is good, man. And as you said, you normally get these right.
That's right. I was.
I'm surprised. Some people are on that I don't think should be on. I think Belichick and Saleh. I also have a hot take if you want it.
I always want.
I think for the first time ever, we might have an entire division going to the playoffs.
Ooh, but we've said that before.
We thought that.
Didn't we say that about the
AFC West? Yeah.
Oh boy, did that
one. We thought Russell Wilson.
Do you really think the
out.
AFC East is all going to the playoffs?
I think it's a possibility, man. If we name the top 8 teams or top 7 teams in the AFC,
I think that strictly because it's the AFC, I think it's unlikely. There's so many other good teams in the AFC.
Yeah, Baltimore turning it around fast, and then Steelers you can't turn. Yeah, because that AFC North is tough.
I just think that, like, given the nature of the fact that there's not that many wild card spots,
I feel like in the AFC South and the AFC West, they're only both sending one team. Whoever wins.
Sure.
I think the Chiefs are the only ones coming out of the West, and I think either Jacksonville or Tennessee is the only ones.
You don't think the Chargers will make it?
Nah. I think the Chargers might fucking implode.
Really?
This might be the Brandon Staley. Told you so. You should have fired him last year.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. My hot takes are coming, baby.
Wow, I like that. That's interesting.
I think the Chargers are going to fall apart, man. I think that Brandon Staley he shouldn't be in there anymore.
Wow.
And yeah, man. So that was one. It was the first name you have on there.
Yeah.
And I think you're right.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Who's on that? But I think it's the other way. The people that are on the hot that probably shouldn't be on there. I don't have anybody that should be on there.
You don't have anybody you want to add?
Nah. Because, and then your reasoning is good. I think McVay should be cold. I think McDaniel should be hot. I think they're
from the Raiders.
Raiders, yeah, that's the one that needs to be on there because we can't forget that he went to the principal's office 3 times last year.
Oh shit, that's right.
We can't forget that. So I think
that's true. Actually, I forgot about that.
I think his seat's hot as shit.
He did. Yeah, he got called into the principal's office a couple of times.
Yeah. So I think that's one that if they start falling apart, and they might with the uncertainty at quarterback, he's out of there, man. He should be on the hot seat, actually. Yeah, he's one.
Maybe.
He's the one.
Maybe you're right.
He's the one.
Maybe.
And I think Andy Reid should be on the hot seat. No, that's the one that, yeah, definitely.
The hot sauce on my barbecue seat. That's Andy Reid.
Man, one day I want to eat some Kansas City barbecue.
I know, right?
Damn, we did an hour and a half, bro.
We're out here just grinding.
We're out here
We're
grinding for y'all.
Grinding.
Yes. Yeah, man. Thanks for that breakdown, man. Very extensive.
Yeah.
I'm with it. And I had some, that's what we do. I have my disagreements and my agreements. That's how we roll.
Disagree. Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is what it is. One of us always right. At some point, we're right.
Well, we did learn, the most important lesson we learned today is that, we should have done like Chiefsaholic. We should have.
He made all that money that we could have made, publicly stated what we thought was going to happen.
And we could have done it without having to rob a bank.
Yes, man. Damn. It's time to rob a bank, Skiff.
Maybe we need to change professions.
They'll be like, this is Sweden. There's no cash. Get
exactly. Give me all your money.
Swish me all your money.
Swish me all your money.
All right, man. Well, appreciate y'all. You want to get out of here, man?
Let's do it.
All right. Thank y'all for checking out another episode of SveNFL, man. This has been great. We'll be back soon with double episodes, but for now it's one episode. Just glad to be back. We're getting back in this thing, man. It's been Jonathan Rollins.
And Skip Mizara.
And we've been doing the SveNFL thing. We'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.
Later, y'all.